So if you are here, which means you are an AMF shareholder and you don't know what to do with this offer of LB Finance. I know market going crazy about what's really happening. What should I do right now? Should I gonna accept this offer, or you gonna hold, or I'm gonna sell it at losses? I'm gonna make a profit at current price. Nobody know what to do. And here I'm gonna help you out with something you could really do in a turbulence like this. First, we look at some background of both these companies. So currently, AMF Finance trading around 70 rupees per share. At the same time, LB Finance trading around 160 rupees per share. And at the same time, you guys know AMF and LB Finance more or like in a financial sector, which is their main contributors are leasings. And why leasing is important? Because very recently, Sri Lanka removed the ban for importing vehicles, and people are going crazy and buying a lot of vehicles and importing a lot of vehicles to the country. And in that case, they need to open a leasing to own this vehicle. So ultimately, AMF is the game changer, and that's the main reason behind why LB Finance want to acquire a company like AMF. It's simply they want to have a growth, at the same time they want to have access for a higher market share. So who's the ultimate winner of this acquisition? Well, dig deep. Second thing we need to look at this offer. So currently LB Finance saying we're going to offer you 50 rupees per share to acquire the remaining ownership of AMF. But will that really happen? Do you think the remaining shareholders will accept this offer? Because it was a volunteer offer, but the top two shareholders already accept that, and because of that, by default, based on the rules, it's now a mandatory offer, which means you have a deadline until November 18 to accept this offer or reject this offer. So let's say the 50 rupees is making you profit, which means you technically buy AMF below 50 rupees. In that scenario, I don't ask you to accept the offer. You can simply sell at market price, because current market price is at 70 rupees, which is like nearly 40% up from the offering price. But the question here is, most of the people are at a break even. Some bought at 65 rupees, some bought at 70 rupees, some even bought at 80 or even beyond that. So these are the people really struggling what to do. So that's why I'm doing this video to help you out what you can really do. We'll think about some scenarios that can happen. Usually, LB Finance wanted to remove this AMF from the public listing as a private limited company. In order to do that, they had to delist the company first. So to do that, there is a second rule, which is LB Finance need to acquire at least 90% of the share ownership AMF. Can they really do that? For me, I don't think so. Because the top 20 shareholders account for 86% of the total ownership of AMF. So in a situation like this, they might not accept this offer at 50 rupees. They want more because there's a lot of potential in AMF. So delisting could be a tricky thing for LB Finance. So the next option could be they could do a share swap with LB Finance, and that's where this is coming handy. So in order to do that, we need to do some analysis. So how are we going to do that analysis? First, we need to have some data of AMF as well as LB Finance. Starting off is we need to have earning per shares. We need to have the net asset value of the share and the current market price. This could be the ideal scenario for us to start something like this. If we drop down all this data, this is how it look like. And there can be three scenarios. First, LB Finance can do this share swap based on earning per shares, or else net asset value per share, or else with market price analysis. But for me, I think ideal or most reasonable valuation could be either earning per share or net asset value per share valuation. So if we start with earning per share valuation, what you can do is you get the earning per share value of AMF, which is close to around 10 rupees per share. And in other hand, LB Finance having earning per share around 20-21 rupees. So based on this, the ratio that we have come up with is this. And when you apply this ratio to the market price of AMF, you get the new valuation as this. Second step is we need to look at what is the net asset value of AMF, which is around 39 rupees, and LB Finance, which is around 98 to 100 rupees. So if we consider the same thing for net asset value, the ratio is going to be this. And if we apply this ratio for the market price of AMF, we could simply get a ratio of this. Because net asset value and net earning per share valuation have a highly tendency of consider to do the share swap, we can do a weighted average cost for those valuations. So we will end up at a valuation of this. So now the question is whether this above the offer price of 50 rupees or not. Yes, it is. So in that case, that's why I'm telling you guys to not to accept this 50 rupees offer, because when you consider the real valuation, AMF value more than that. So holding AMF could be ideal, but not really. Why? So we know LB Finance did this acquisition for a reason. They want more revenue. They want bigger growth. They want big share. So the ideal winner of this deal is LB Finance. They could able to own AMF at a discount price. But do we really need to give our stake for that reason? No. We have to be strategized. According to my strategy, I feel like what if I focus on LB Finance instead of AMF Finance? Why? Because the offer is already there. We have to wait until 2027 in order to get this share swap or to accept the 50 rupees or making losses. But instead, what if you focus on LB Finance and start slowly buying LB Finance? Because if you look at the growth factor, LB Finance have higher tendency to go up compared to AMF. AMF have a mixed feeling because of the current valuation, current acquisition, it can either go down or go up. But when you have a tendency of like this, knowing LB Finance have a high potential, why don't you go and buy LB Finance slowly? Because what really happen is, let's say you have a losses in AMF Finance right now. But if you slowly accumulating your ownership in LB Finance, when this acquisition happen in 2 years, you might already having a lot of profit in LB Finance, which could ultimately cover the losses if you have in AMF. So if I were you, this is what I'm going to do. If I already bought AMF shares under 50 rupees, we will definitely sell, and I'm going to use that amount to buy LB Finance stocks. And in a case where my price is break even or not really making higher profit, I still consider to sell that stock and start buying LB Finance. And in case if I have a losses at the even current market price, even offering price, I just hold that stock for a while, wait until the share swap happen in 2027 and start slowly buying LB Finance. What could happen? So in the future, this price of LB Finance could go up and they have a growth potential. Because of that, you might have dividends because LB Finance are well known as dividend paying stock. So you have a dividend at the same time capital gains. So what do? You will go and buy LB Finance, right? So that is the reason why I tell you guys, don't be panic, don't be rushing to anything, just be calm down. This is very normal in the market. You can make profit, you can make losses, but ultimately we need to think very wisely and take a decision based on data and analysis. So I hope this video helped you guys take that decision and you guys can do whatever you like, because this is not a financial recommendation or something that I ask everyone to do. Everything you're deciding right now is based on your decision and your risk, because investment is a risk that we accepting when we start investing. So think wisely, think twice, think big. We'll see you with another video.